Well, guys, I'm here with James Wedmore. Just happened to be in Sedona, Arizona. It's great to be here, James.
Yeah, thanks, Jake.
Well, as you know, like my real focus and my belief is that video podcasting is the fastest and most effective way to grow your podcast network and your followers. And I know that you've been a big proponent of podcasting and obviously YouTube in the past. So I'd love to get your thoughts.
The blend of both worlds.
You get your thoughts on like what people should be thinking about, especially today in 2020.
Well, that's the funny thing is like today there really are so many options. That is a good thing, but it becomes a problem because it can be so overwhelming. And while we have all these social short form video formats that have allowed people to reach new audiences. I mean, someone puts a TikTok video out there or an Instagram reel, and it's like, I was nothing, had no audience, and I got 50,000 views like that for a 7-second video of them doing something fun with their dog or cat. It's like, you got the views and the exposure, but did you get the leads? And to me, especially with my experience and the clients I work with, a lead or a prospect becomes that lead or prospect because they built a relationship with you through the content and information that you share and deliver. And that's really hard to do in an intimate depth process when it's like, I'm just scrolling like this. And what I figured out is how little people are actually in a learning mode when they're on Instagram. They're like, I'm bored, entertain me. Even me, when I want to learn new things, I'm like, no, I don't want to hear about that right now. I just want to watch some silly, entertaining, funny video that I can pass on to my friends. But something really magical does happen when we go, and I hear it so many times, like, I'm going on a road trip and I really want to learn. Let's find a good podcast. Or, I'm going to do an hour of reading, consuming. Let's go watch some YouTube and learn. And so there's a different frame or mindset in which someone is in when they're consuming a video or a video podcast that has them be more of a student that is receptive, and then a level of trust and rapport. It's happening right now as you listen and watch us here, occurs when you are consuming that content. It's like, they see you as the expert. They're grateful that you're providing value. I'm going to take notes on this. I'm going to take action on this. And so many people are missing that. And they're just doing that front end. Let me entertain you in 7 seconds. And then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I forgot who that even was. But with a platform like this, you have such an opportunity to build a real audience that comes back again and again and again. That's why I do it. We have over 600 episodes on my podcast. So I'm a huge advocate for podcasts for sure.
Yeah, and I think with the recent, really, YouTube has made a focus on podcasts. Right now, podcast is actually a specific channel playlist within YouTube. So I think that it's really going to be exploding here in the very near future.
It's exciting.
But one of the things you always talk about, and really in BBD in the program too, is that when you're using podcast as a platform, like you have this intimate moment with somebody when you're in their ear.
Oh yeah.
And like you mentioned a second ago, video it's flashy. It's a scroll stopper. But I think that the marriage of YouTube, right, which is the number 2 search engine, is such like an entry point for people to come to your podcast.
Absolutely, because I mean, you just look at like the celebrity effect of like when you see someone famous and how you're like, oh my gosh, I just saw, Dwayne Johnson, and we freak out because we've given our full attention to watching that person on a big screen, and the same effect happens. Like I remember when I built my YouTube channel, I was getting my hair cut and my barber was introducing me to the next guy that was waiting in line. And he asked me what I did. And I told him, and he goes, oh my gosh. And he pulls out his phone. He goes, I'm watching your videos right now. And he's like, I'm learning how to do all this stuff. And now here's what's interesting is that when he first introduced us, he was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. As soon as he connected the dots, it was me. It was like, oh my, like a total state change of how he like approached me and treated me. He's like, can I ask you, go ahead, that's the power of video. That's the power of that celebrity effect in action when you're the person on the camera and you have an audience that's captivated by what you have to say.
Well, thank you for sharing that.